All right, welcome back to the show, everyone, and good afternoon to you. Well, if you're here, guess what? Part 1 worked. I'm actually really blown away. No global blocking, no none of that. It went through pretty squeaky clean. So hopefully that's a sign for future things to come. In case you missed it, earlier today I reacted to the first quarter of the 63-point Jordan game, basically against the Celtics in Game 2 of the 86 playoffs. And this was kind of a test run to see if I'd get globally blocked, or the video would get globally blocked like it did the last time I did this, which was like over a year ago. But so far so good. So hopefully you watched part 1, which was the first quarter, and let's see how far we can take it with the second quarter. Once again, I'm going to link the original video down below in the description. This is coming from a channel called Hoops History. I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to this channel because whatever they're doing is magical to avoid, to avoid the YouTube stuff. Anyways, guys, I'm going to link the original video in the description for you. There you'll see a list of channel members. Extra shout out to you guys. And thank you for everyone who voted to give me the encouragement to do this. Anyways, guys, let's get right to it. We're heading to the second quarter. Bird was scoreless. The Bulls are getting killed down low in the paint with the likes of Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and Bill Walton. Jordan is actually playing, obviously, he's playing really good so far. And Orlando Woolrich, I'll give him a little shout out. He's playing pretty good so far as well. Charles Oakley already got 3 fouls in the first quarter, so he'll be sitting his butt down for a little while here. And without further ado, guys, please like the video. I'd appreciate it a lot. Let's do it. Second quarter, let's go. Oh, they do this every quarter?
Chicago has an 8-point lead as we start the second period, but this was a key play as far as Larry Bird and the Celtics go.
Well, that's the penalty you pay Larry Bird as a team defender. Good pick, and Bird tries to fight his way through, and doing that hurts his hand, and you can see already he's looking at that right hand, and it ended up his last 2 fingers. Now he gets a little angry and goes at Banks, which I don't think was quite fair because Banks was really played good offense that time. Now you see, well, it's that the last 2 fingers.
Smaller tape. I think Ray Melchiori put smaller tape on those last 2 fingers.
But look at that index finger. He's got a bump on that index finger. Looks like Mount Everest.
So Bird's been scoreless up until this point, which was shocking in itself. He's played pretty passive. My prediction was after he gets this finger bandaged up, he's gonna get pissed off, and he's gonna wake up a little bit. We'll see. Like I said, I have not seen this game in ages. I've seen the highlights 1,000 times, but I haven't seen the actual game since I can't remember the last time.
Bird was 0 for 5 shooting in the first period.
Yeah, 0 for
and
5.
Did not score. Keep in mind that Bird was the only player in the NBA this year to finish in the top 10 in 5 of the 8 categories. And heading perhaps for his 3rd consecutive MVP award. Meanwhile, we start the second period and the Bulls lead by 8.
You know, on that injury, Bird really, as a team defender, backed in, and Banks smartly picked him off so Corzine could get the shot off.
Yeah.
Scores Jordan for Chicago and McHale for Boston.
I don't really see a problem with what Corzine did there.
And Tom Heinsohn here at Boston Garden. Coming around a screen. Rick Carlisle in the game stays with Jordan. Misses. And
That was
here's
short.
Walton.
That was short. Uh-oh.
Gets it into the hands of the right man, SxADk. So Carlisle's in the game. Rick Carlisle out of Virginia.
What the hell?
Good perimeter shooter and a very smart player, although not fast.
Hell of a coach, though.
To Wedman.
Here we go again.
Walton, I should say, and a foul called against Mike Spreck. The Celtics do not have much speed in there right now.
Well, this is the fastest unit they have, Dick, to tell you the truth. Wedman at that forward spot has got more foot speed than Bird, who's about to re-enter the ball game.
I mean, they're slow right now, but that's where they'd be getting all the points in the post.
This team to be a fast break unit. Bird's going to be in there replacing McHale, so that now is a pretty fast unit.
All right, let's see if Bird lights him up now.
For the Celtics.
An angry Bird. Angry Bird.
Bird.
Uh-oh, double team, good trap.
Team.
Oh, man, good read.
Walton is fouled. That is a good foul. Michael Jordan commits the foul. One of the things the Bulls wanted to do
good
was
foul,
to take
but
that
really
foul
good pass.
When it looked as if the Celtics were going to get an easy 2, and there's an example.
I think MJ's got 2 fouls,
when you
though.
double team Bird, you better cut off the guys cutting to the basket, and it was much too late developing.
Mike Smrek, the 7-foot rookie, goes out of the game, and Orlando Woolridge, who scored 8 points in the first period, comes back in.
Dude, MJ has not sat down yet.
Woolridge.
Coming off the minutes restriction he was just on right before the playoffs here.
This unit in for the Bulls
This is
now,
wild.
Sidney Green being the center.
Come on, Bill. What you got?
Woolridge at the wing. Maybe they'll turn him loose.
That is a loose as hell rim.
Yes, much, and they'll be playing against the fastest that the Celtics have to offer, and the Bulls still have a tremendous speed
Poor
advantage.
knees. It's Bill Walton's poor knees, man.
I love fast basketball players and fast break style of play. You need easy hoops.
But you got to practice it, and it has to be a way of life for a team.
That's what Stan Albeck said, Dick. They just weren't together long enough to get it down. They started off fast breaking, but weren't able to continue.
Oh, wow.
Woolridge's shot misses.
Damn, Bill.
And Stan Albeck was looking for interference and a goaltend call against Walton.
Yeah, man, I think MJ was just helping him up there.
The Celtics have the ball. We have a minute gone by in the second period, and it's a 6-point Chicago lead at 33-27. Walton guarded by Green. Green gives ground.
Oh, he's taking it.
Walton will take the shot. Sidney Green the rebound.
Yeah, they're sagging off of
Up
it.
to Gene Banks.
That was a good shot.
Walton, if you're going to kill us from out there,
We can live with it. Yeah, we can live with it.
Whitman is on Banks. Banks goes up. Walton
Damn,
another
man,
rebound.
look at
Walton
Walton.
has 7 rebounds coming off
What
the bench
a
today.
7 rebounds. What a monster off the
Carlisle
bench.
guarded by Jordan. Bird guarded 1-on-1.
I mean, we're talking 7 rebounds in 1 quarter, basically.
Wedman hits from outside.
Good look.
Scott Wedman, who is a starter when Kevin McHale was out of action with his Achilles injury, had an 11-3 record as a starter with the Celtics.
That was great rotation defense that time by the Bulls with Michael Jordan, and yet Wedman, the quick shooter, still got an easy shot off.
Kyle Macy and Seasting hooked in. George Gervin gets off the bench. He'll come in for the first time.
George Gervin.
Green working against Walton goes in. Walton with another rebound, his 8th, and here's a 3-on-1 break for Boston. But traveling.
Oh, they called, guys, this is what it was like. Let's see where the travel's at.
Another rebound, his 8th.
Okay, catch. He doesn't even have the ball.
And here's a 3.
He never even had possession of the ball. The ball was up in the air.
Against Walton goes in.
Hold on.
Walton with another rebound, his 8th, and here's a 3-on-1 break.
They call that a travel. Wow, dude, it was unreal back then. You couldn't do anything without getting that travel called.
Boston, but traveling call against Rick Carlisle. You don't often see that from the men in white and green. Sidney Green and George Gervin will be coming into the ball game for the Chicago Bulls, who still lead, but now it's 4.
Now, how old was
Take
George
a look at the
Gervin at
Western
this point?
Conference first round, also best of 5. The Lakers lead 2-0. So does Houston. Dallas and Denver have 1-0 lead in their respective series. Utah plays Dallas tonight, and a couple of key performers. Mark Aguirre with back spasms is questionable for the Dallas Mavericks. Adrian Dantley will not play for the 2nd straight time for the Utah Jazz.
Well, I think Dantley is as important to his ball club as Aguirre is to his, so that might cancel each other out.
Fair enough.
But if either one of them is able to play, it's going to give his team a tremendous advantage.
And we saw in the first quarter that Magic in the Lakers game had 30 points and 15 assists, if I remember correctly.
Right in the middle there is number 8, George Gervin, who will be 34 years of age
34.
a week from today. 14th year, but his first with Chicago. Played, of course, at San Antonio. The 7th all-time leading scorer with over 26,500 points. All-time playoff scoring average is right behind Jerry West. So George Gervin, who's really had to make a traumatic adjustment going from San Antonio to Chicago, coming off the bench here.
Playing a lot less minutes, but he's always been great in the low post, and he's going to have a young player against him, Rick Carlisle.
And they're going to isolate right now. The Chicago Bulls spreading out their offense, making the Celtics play individual defense, not the team variety. They get it into Gene Banks.
Nice take, nice take.
That is the best of Gene Banks, under control.
We're going to look for more isolation plays, I think, here from the Bulls. Right now, Michael Jordan is on the bench, and we have an illegal defense call against Chicago.
They had 3 guys pass that imaginary line down the middle of the foul lane. It took them a while to call it illegal defense. Bird saw it.
9.5 minutes to go in the first half. Walton, baseline, loose ball, scrap, and the foul against Chicago.
Yeah, it's getting scrappy now.
Dennis Johnson reports back in the game for the Celtics. And Rick Carlisle sits down.
If the Bulls can get George Gervin going and get those ice fingers going, I mean, he turns to white heat when he's really firing away.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great. That way Jordan could get some more rest, too, for sure.
47%, the lowest of his career this season.
What was it?
Really firing away.
Shot 47%, the lowest of his career this season.
That's not bad.
Because of less minutes.
Walt banks it. Bird gets an easy 2. Larry Bird with his first points of the game.
I know,
And it comes
finally.
with 9 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the first half. And the Chicago Bulls cling to that 4-point lead. They had it up to 11. The only lead Boston had was the first points of the game.
Without Jordan in the game, they've got to find a guy they can give the ball to and count on him to get him a couple of points.
Gervin going in.
I mean, I'd be looking at George Gervin and Woolrich right now.
Inside. Sidney Green with his first basket.
He is really great at crashing the board if you don't block him out on a penetration move.
Bird over Woolrich.
Okay.
Maybe getting hot now.
Yep, Bird's mad.
He got a layup.
He's an angry Bird now.
Needed. And now
Lead
the
down to
outside
4.
shot, and it's a 4-point, 37-33 affair. John Paxson getting off the bench for the Chicago Bulls.
Guys, you just have to sustain it for a little while.
Perhaps.
So MJ can get a little bit of rest.
Finally,
there you go. That's how you do it.
7 seconds on the shot.
That's how we do it.
Banks with his second basket, and it's up to 6 once more.
They certainly were looking to get it to Gervin that time, to the point where Bird fell off and gave Banks the shot.
Oh, Bird with 2
That was a
straight.
heat check.
Misses that shot. Banks has the rebound. Forcing the action. The Bulls running a lot more than they had. They didn't run at all, really.
Look at the paint. Like, look at the lane constantly.
Macy controlling, guarded by Seaster.
It's a gauntlet to get to the rim.
And there's Sidney Green on the weak side. Jordan remains on the bench, shaking his head, and the Chicago Bulls have raised their lead to 8 with Jordan sitting.
I'll tell you, Walton retreated to stop any kind of penetration. Forgot about Sidney Green. You can't do that with Sidney Green. He'll kill you on the glass. Once Sidney Green comes swooping in, Walton has got him, forgets where he is, going for the rebound himself, and there's Green, a great leaper right behind him.
Yeah, good throwdown, man.
More than an elbow of leaping ability above Walton.
John Paxson comes in the backcourt, and Robert Parrish is back for the Celtics. Parrish over the top commits the loose ball foul. Orlando Woolrich, who committed that last personal, was fouled by Parrish. Second foul on Parrish. So right now, Chicago has John Paxson, almost a carbon copy of Kyle Macy, perhaps a little stronger and quicker.
And in case you guys forgot, Kevin McHale was torching him in the first quarter.
Backcourt, Corzine is in with Banks, Woolrich, and Gervin. Jordan still on the bench. Woolrich. Gervin tries to keep it.
There you go, Iceman.
Into the hands of Dennis Johnson.
Good
and
foul.
A Chicago foul, and there's another good foul for Chicago.
No, that was a great foul.
That was a 3-on-1
yep,
break.
That was a 3-on-1.
John Paxson against some big guys that were going to swoop in. I'm amazed that Sidney Green came out of that ball game right now, because he was giving them that second effort that was producing some solid points.
Yeah, he was.
2 shots for Dennis Johnson. The foul was on Banks.
We've been talking about getting Sidney Green back in his head back into the game and feeling good about himself. The boy made 2 great moves and back on the bench.
Keep in mind,
That's
he
true.
has tendonitis of the knee.
That is the
may be a
psychology
factor in this thing. And so they got some good moments from Green. We'll see when he comes back. That's the other side.
But the leaping ability that time didn't look like he was thinking about his tendonitis.
Didn't look like he was thinking about anything but winning this game.
That's right.
Yeah, see, they found some common ground there.
Minutes to go in the first half. 41-34 in favor of Chicago.
All right, what we got?
Gervin.
Oh.
Woolrich inside. Tried to draw the foul. He couldn't. Bird bodied him well. McHale comes down with the ball into the hands of Dennis Johnson. He tries to draw the foul. Parrish sees Dennis Johnson open.
Yep, second chance shots, man.
Doesn't go that way.
That's a killer, guys. But what are they supposed to do against these giants?
Pick and roll, decides to go
Bird. There you go. You're finally awake, huh?
Just let him swoop through there, the Bulls.
All you had to do was punch someone in the face and bust your finger.
5-point Chicago
You're ready to roll.
with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half, and a 22nd timeout called by Chicago.
A little fake pick and roll. That creates a little problem, but watch. They allow Bird to just swoop in. They never cut off his penetration. Corzine trying to maintain contact with McHale. Didn't get there quick enough.
All right, lead down to 5.
6:20 to go in the first half, and the Chicago Bulls, who have led all the way except for the first points of the ball game. Speaking about...
By the way, good times. Back then, the music was all in Oregon. And that was like pretty much every sport, right?
This game at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the Washington Bullets are tied with the 76ers at 35. They're in the second period, and Washington leads 1-0 in that series. Michael Jordan has been on the bench the last 4 minutes, and the Bulls have been none the worse for wear.
They've produced some other offense.
Yeah, it's important. He can't beat him by himself.
So work Gervin a little bit.
These guys got to get into a rhythm.
Gervin against Parrish and the Boston foul.
Oh, man.
Their second team foul. Jordan has played only 2 minutes this period. He scored all his 17 points in the opening 12.
Yeah, the rotation kind of surprised me because normally you take him out like at about 10 minutes into the first quarter, let him sit until what? Well, I said that wrong. To take him out with like 2 minutes left in the first quarter, put him back in with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. But they waited. They waited a long time.
And he is getting a lot of rest, but as long as the Bulls are playing the way they're playing, they can give Jordan some of that rest. Parrish commits his third personal foul. Walton played considerably and performed well off the bench.
All right, guys, what are we doing? There's no movement.
To isolate Gervin on one side, but Woolridge didn't get to it.
No.
Woolridge has his shot blocked. Banks picks it up. Whirling dervish to Corzine. And
they made something out of nothing.
Hits from the corner. By the way, Woolridge has missed his last 6-7 shots now in the game.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like Woolridge, but that was a garbage ISO play.
He may not be the guy to go to.
He's taken some god-awful shots, Dick. The penetration, he should be kicking it out to guys like Corzine who can hit that outside shot. Use him as a decoy.
McHale over Corzine. Short. Parrish keeps it alive for Boston. Bird tries to fake Gervin. Seasting. Baseline.
Good.
That's why
Good
they acquired
pass,
him
good
from
shot.
Indiana. Jerry Seasting, and it's 43-38 Chicago, and Michael Jordan will be coming back in the game in a moment.
Yeah, we need some offense, MJ.
Paxson controlling with 13 on the shot clock. Banks.
That's all right. That was a good look.
Parrish.
Bird was nowhere to be seen on Banks.
Uh-oh. Yeah, he's there
Off
now.
the wing, the basket good, and a foul. And Walton comes back for the Celtics, and Michael Jordan checks in for the Chicago Bulls.
Push the ball up the court. Good things happen. Nice outlet pass. It gets up reasonably, and Seasting loves to fast break. Back to Dennis in the middle.
Oh. I mean, you want to know why this happens? Hold up. It's really important, guys, when you're running back on a fast break and the ball is right behind you, don't have your back to the basket. I mean, I'm sorry, don't have your back to the ball. You got to see the action here.
Break back to
Dennis. He didn't even know what was happening.
Dennis in the middle, and before the defense, he's even alert. The Celtic used the fourth man up the court, no defender there.
Jordan comes in replacing George
Corzine.
Gervin, who I don't believe even attempted a shot in the time he was in there. Foul was on Corzine. A three-point play with 5 minutes to go cuts the Bulls' lead to 2.
If anybody knows like the status of George Gervin at this point when he was coming off the bench with the Bulls, like, was there no way to have him coexist with Jordan on that starting lineup, or was it really that his production level had just sunk? Because I feel like he's not that old at this point.
Well, that's a terrible thing. A guy like George Gervin, with all the playoff experience and a great offensive ability, not to get a shot off while he's in there. He's a weapon.
Bird guarding Banks. Rainbow shot. Misses. Paxson, safety man, intercepts. into Banks. Good
Oh,
spin move,
man,
but
now-
Walton blocks it. And Walton's, or they said Banks stepped
Yeah,
on
the Celtics
line.
are
It's going
just
to be
absolutely
Boston
killing them with
ball.
their
So Bill
size.
Walton playing a major
When it
role
comes to
off
the rebounding, just the defense, they're just destroying these guys.
the bench. And Sidney Green, who played 11 minutes, coming back in the ball game for Chicago.
All right, yeah,
the crowd is up because the Celtics
There you
can
go.
tie it here. And they do. No. Foul before the
No
shot.
continuation.
Gene Banks is really having his problems offensively and defensively. I think he's talking to himself and making this game much more difficult than it has to be. Taking some bad shots. Last time he had Walton in the low post. Whenever he thinks that's a mismatch in his favor,
Yeah.
he got to go back to the scoring, back to the playbook, because there's no way
Yeah.
he should be taking Bill Walton to the hoop in the low post.
I 100%
Banks
agree.
goes out. He
100%
scored 4
agree.
points, and Larry Bird can tie the game. We
Yeah,
had
man, Bird really
5
came alive.
ties early on before Chicago moved out in front and led by as many as 11.
Somebody must have just told him, yo, you haven't scored in the first quarter.
Up to 10 apiece.
What's wrong with you, Bird?
4:20
All right, tie ball game.
Chicago led 33-25 after 1 period.
Yep, there goes that lead.
Bird is
Oh.
on Green. Ball knocked away. It's still Chicago.
Bird forced to guard Sidney Green. That might be a good matchup for the Bulls to go to. Let Green get in the low
Hell,
post.
right now we got to get the ball back in MJ's hands. There you go. He's been back in for like a minute. There you go. There you go. You just needed some points on the board.
25 to 43. 19 for Michael Jordan. That's his first points in the second period.
That's what the Celtics do so well. They pick on people. The Bulls are not picking on people here in the first half.
They don't have that many weapons, although if they go with a quick team, that may be their answer. Seasting misses. Woolridge the rebound. Chicago does have a quickness edge on the Celtics generally down the roster.
And Jordan's adding something. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Jordan with his weak side help, kind of floating around on defense, is actually disrupting the Celtics offense big time here.
Not used it that effectively, other than to, quick steps like this.
It's exhausting,
Jordan going in, baseline,
Whoopsie.
defended by Walton, out of bounds, Celtics
Damn,
ball.
yeah,
Jordan
yeah.
shows a little frustration.
You should be a little mad about that one. Hit the side of the glass there. Get him back. Get him back, MJ.
James Johnson over Jordan. Sidney Green the rebound. 3:15 to go.
Nice pass.
Jordan inside to Woodard.
Oh, good look.
Basket good and a foul.
All right, that's
That looked
big.
like the Celtics playbook.
Yep.
When he gets in the paint, remember, try
Get
and
Bill in
handle
foul
him off.
trouble. Let's go.
He gets everybody looking because their concern is him, and he is.
Yeah, look, you got 3 defenders on him right here. 1, 2, 3, all closing in on him. So yeah, there's got to be somebody open. I'm surprised he's not more open.
Come alert himself as a decoy for somebody to slip behind the defenders who have lost their attention, and Woolridge smart that time to get open.
Interestingly enough, Walton with the foul, his third. So the 2 Celtic centers, Parrish and Walton, each are burdened with 3 personal fouls right now, and Parrish on the bench. 48 to 43 in favor of Chicago, winding down to 3 minutes to go in the half.
By the way, I think I saw Orlando Woolridge is 4 for 14.
Return, and Jerry
the
Seaston
field.
goes out for the Celtics, and we'll have a timeout ourselves with just 1 second, less than 3 minutes to go in the half.
All right, MJ back in. We got a lead again.
Celtics inbounding, and Larry Bird. What's the story with Bird today? How are the Bulls playing?
Bird said that his prime function, he thought, was to really develop the inside game for the others and not to look for a shot. But the Bulls are also getting out there and challenging him on his outside shot.
McHale draws the foul,
Damn.
and looks like he hit his head.
He landed on the back of his head? It looks like it.
McHale scored all his 12 points in the first period. He has none this quarter.
And keep in mind, you guys, this is the 80s, so no one's like flopping around or faking injuries. Like, so whenever something does happen, you take it serious.
Larry Bird has all of his 11 this period.
Let's see what happens here. He gets sandwiched. And
He
somebody
gets
could
whacked
go
on top of the
and
head.
see what happened. It looked like he got a little whiplash or an elbow in the forehead.
And he got an elbow on top of his head, man.
Dave Corzine commits his 3rd foul. Oakley and Corzine
Shake it off.
3.
Can't see
McHale
straight.
trying to get the cobwebs out.
Hit the
Wanna
one in
remind
the
you
middle.
that You're watching the second game of a best-of-5 first-round NBA playoff at Boston Garden. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn here on CBS. The Boston Celtics with the best record in the league and a 41-1 record.
You probably can't even see straight right now.
Trailing right now, 40.
Come on, shake it off, man. Shake it off, Mikhail.
2:56 to go in the first half. Foul Story.
Aim for the basket in the middle.
Parrish and Walton, the two Celtics
like
centers.
Mick always says.
And Oakley Corzine also.
Those of you who get my reference, y'all are real ones.
That was a nice little elbow he got there.
That's a nice one, huh?
Chicago had scored 5 in a row to break a 43-all tie before the free throw. 13 on the shot clock. Jordan.
Uh-oh. 3.
Inside.
Okay. I don't know how this play ends, but watch.
13 on the shot
2's
clock.
not enough.
Jordan.
We got 3. You got 3 out of 5 defenders on you. What the hell? Man. You got 1. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a risky pass. I would assume you go out here. And we got a clear direction here with you coming up. But this is a young Michael Jordan.
Inside to Woolridge, spins around.
Okay.
Basket counts and a foul.
I stand corrected.
By Orlando Woolridge, and keep in mind he's had a knee
I gotta
problem.
be honest, I didn't see Woolridge in the picture at all. I didn't see him.
And a sprained
Good
wrist,
luck, MJ.
But he showed no
Good finish,
effect of it
Woolridge.
there.
They played a little 2-on-2 basketball, and that freed up Woolridge. He was Dennis Johnson ended up on him originally. McHale has been trying to guard him, but when you do stuff like that, the Celtics switch a lot. You got to look for the advantage on a mismatch.
Yeah,
they
switched from that triple on Jordan to just surrounding Woolridge within a split second.
Foul was on
This
McHale,
defense
his
is no
second.
joke.
It's 50-44, 2.5 minutes to play in the opening half. Chicago leading, and they've led practically all the way in this first half. Bird banks it, tips out. Tipped in the air.
Get back.
Walton. McHale in the corner.
All right, we can live with that. Damn, dude, come on, guys. I know they're bigger than you.
Traps his way.
Get a rebound.
And a new
Take it, Bird.
Bird inside to McHale and the basket. Celtic passing at its very best, and it's a 4-point Chicago lead. 2 minutes to go in the half.
In case you guys haven't noticed, I obviously know how this game ends, so I'm just kind of I'm just cheering on my favorite players at this point.
You know, the guard's patience of the Celtics to find that good matchup is what really makes
What you got,
this
MJ?
game click.
You got ISO.
Jordan controlling
You got
against
ISO.
Dennis Johnson, and they isolate him.
That's not the best look.
Misses it all. Save though. Green. Jordan.
Okay, there you go.
And the rebound by Walton.
I mean, it didn't work out, but I like to see you guys crashing the boards. Not a fan of Jordan's shot there.
Tries that extra pass. Whistle. No basket, and a 3-second violation called.
Damn, again.
Against Boston. And even Stan Albeck's enjoying this first half.
Danny Ainge makes one great steal here, goes up high.
Dude.
I mean, that's a
Danny
great
Ainge did get up there.
Skill there to take it away from a bigger man.
4-point lead for Chicago. Sidney Green is up on high, setting a screen.
There we go.
Johnson trying to fight through it on a switch. Bird guards Jordan.
That's wild.
And Jordan hits the jumper anyway.
That's wild.
Michael Jordan, 21 points. And it's 52-46 Bulls.
That's just a ridiculous looking jump shot.
Looking inside
how did he do it?
Nothing doing.
Oh, yeah. DJ wide open.
Denying. Dennis Johnson misses a 3.
What a board.
Walton, though. Jordan with under a minute to go, and the ball bouncing into the hands of the Bulls. Corzine inside to Paxson.
Nice play.
Paxson gets the basket, and now the Chicago Bulls have opened it up 54-46.
Damn.
And they have been the strong team down the stretch in this quarter.
They played good push-up basketball that time. Some of the Celtics big people.
Yeah, for those of you who are just joining, the Bulls barely made it to the playoffs. Jordan was injured the entire year with a broken foot or a broken ankle. Came back with just a couple of games left, was on minute restriction heading into the playoffs. Like he was only playing, I think it was 15 minutes a game, something like that. And yeah, they're going against one of the greatest teams of all time, the Boston Celtics right here. And the fact that they're winning right now, they're in the lead, is wild.
Back.
They've controlled the lead the majority of the game.
Draws the foul.
So far.
Stan Albeck made comments after game 1 that he got less of a break from the officials and that the Celtics were able to use mayhem, to say the least, inside. Of course, Casey Jones said, well, if they're playing a physical game, what do you expect? they should commit most of the fouls. In any event, Corzine has number 4.
Well, I used to be a coach. I used to use rhetoric like that, too. It's like a coach's book.
Yeah, this also shows Jordan's doing his job. But this is backcourt scoring. Where they're getting killed is in the paint, the big men.
Coach, I used to use rhetoric like that, too. It's like a coach's book for coming into the Boston Garden.
Garden.
On how to get the officials on your side. Not just the Boston Garden, but anytime
I give you a quarter.
you're on the road.
Doesn't seem to
Give me
help
some
much
water
here,
at the
looking at
Garden.
the record of the Celtics this year. You can see the blood on the jersey of Kevin McHale from that cut left eye. Hits the free throws. Banks is in the ball game with
6-point
38
lead.
seconds to go. Chicago leading by 6. And they'll call the foul on Ames.
Wow.
Second foul, but that will put the Celtics into the penalty.
I'm shocked at that
will
call.
shoot 2.
That was kind of a chicken foul.
That was a chicken foul.
It looked more like Paxson fell down and Ainge fouled him.
Paxson, of course, comes from a great bloodline of basketball people. Of course, he must have played against his dad.
I certainly did. A great player.
With the Lakers and the Royals, and his brother, of course, Jim, is with the Portland Trailblazers.
They want this man here to shoot more. They want him to get that outside shot going. They feel he can push it up the floor better than even Kyle Mason.
34 seconds to go.
Mustache Paxson.
8-point lead for Chicago. Their biggest lead was 11. Ainge taking it all the way. Bird.
Dude, can we get a rebound, Bulls? Look at this play.
For Chicago, their biggest lead was 11.
First
Ainge
look,
taking it all the way.
second look, third look.
Bird tipping. Walton tips it in. And Bill Walton with 6 points in the ball game.
Come on.
And 13 rebounds. Has been the key center, not Parrish so far.
Wait, Bill Walton, wait, say it again?
Ball game and 13 rebounds.
Wait, what?
And Bill Walton with 6 points in the ball game and 13 rebounds.
13 rebounds in the first half off the bench. You guys, Bill Walton was a monster.
Has been the
so
key
was Kevin
center, not
McHale.
Parrish so far for the Celtics.
Oh, man. All right,
Celtics
ISO, what are we going to do?
Great stuff on the offensive boards on those fast breaks. That penetration by Danny Ainge.
We got to end on a high here, MJ.
He produced the 2-point.
10 seconds. 8
6
seconds,
on the shot
time to
clock,
move.
so there's a 3-second differential. Jordan with a
That's
fake
a
shot and draws
That's
the
a
foul.
wild shot. Did he get hit?
Second differential.
I can't tell in that blurry mess.
Jordan with a
I don't know.
fake shot and draws the foul.
I don't know. I'm trying
Dennis
to call
Johnson
it real, but I don't
beside
know.
himself.
I can't say.
With frustration after that, did not agree with it. That's his first personal foul.
When Michael Jordan beats you going to the right, you have to lean across him and bring your hand down, and that's when the official will normally call the foul.
Mike Tebow, who is one of the assistant coaches with Chicago, said about Jordan, he's got the jump shot ability of a Jerry West and the ability to go to the hoop of a Julius Erving.
Yep.
Pretty good people to be compared with.
I call him Mercury.
And I just think this is the weakest you'll see Jordan's jump shot in his entire
Foul
career.
with 3 seconds to go, and now it's
It only
Michael
got
Jordan,
better. Oh, that's 3 then, right?
who is
By the way,
complaining.
Yep, Tex was already here. Tex was already here. And then, yeah, the next guy that was the head coach was Doug Collins, and he had a lot of problems with Tex. That's where Phil Jackson came in. This man, brilliant basketball
There's
mind.
Mike Tebow kneeling down.
Tim
Actually,
Tebow's
Tebow is not
dad?
on the bench. He must be upstairs sending in plays from the top. The
From the
foul.
helicopter, huh?
Sidney
From the
Green gets
helicopter.
called with his 3rd personal foul. Corzine has 4. Oakley and Green 3 for Chicago. Parrish and Walton each with 3 for Boston.
Parrish and Walton each with 3 fouls.
Boys
Okay.
have played as well as they can play. And the Celtics really haven't gotten their game together whatsoever, and the Celtics are still in it.
Celtics are rarely out of it this early. I guess, though, in the one loss they experienced to Portland here, they were out of it early. That was a rout.
Right.
1 out of 2, 2 seconds to go, and then that shot will not count if it goes.
Look at the old days. You'll hear the sound of the buzzer before the shot clock or the clock says 0.
2 seconds to go, and then that.
Oh no, I'm
shot
tripping.
will
That was just so blurry. I couldn't tell that was a 0.
Not count if it goes.
All right.
Larry Bird had 12 all this period, but Michael Jordan has 23 points. And the
That's fitting.
Chicago Bulls, who need a win here, and that would make headlines in any event, any team beating the Celtics at Boston Garden, lead 58-51 at halftime.
All right, guys. I am going to leave it right there, and then I'll be back later today, I think. All right, I'm trying to figure this all out as it go. I'm figuring we do this all in one day, and I'll do a drop like every 6 hours. 6 times 4, 24. You know what I'm saying? I did back to normal, my normal broadcast tomorrow. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'll do third quarter next, and then I'll do fourth quarter and overtime for the final video. So the final one will be a little longer. Guys, what am I seeing so far? I mean, obviously MJ's doing his thing. His shot selection's actually surprising me a little bit, but this is the first half. He is actually settling for a lot of jumpers, which it just kind of goes into to play with how good that defense is for the Boston Celtics. Because every time he gets in there, gets into the paint, he's surrounded by some of the greatest defenders of all time. So I see why he's being a little bit passive and he's settling for a jumper, but we all know that's not going to last. As he's got 23 points right now, he's got 40 more to go. So think about it that way. What I do have to say as well is the Celtics, my God, these guys are one hell of a well-oiled machine. What we're seeing here is the worst of the Celtics. They're playing terrible for their own standards, but despite that, they're still only down by 7. That's how you know. That's a sign of a great team, is even when they're playing terrible and it looks like they're getting killed, they're right there. You know, they're not giving you any breathing space. All right, guys. I'll be back with the third quarter. Hopefully everything continues to go smooth. Like I said, the first one went smooth. Hopefully this one does as well. And if so, I'll be back with a part 3 and a part 4. Guys, thank you so much for watching with me. I hope you're having fun. I'm having a blast personally, so hopefully you guys are too. Like the video if you haven't done it yet. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Hell, hit that bell if you want to get notified for the third quarter. And shout out to members, especially with stuff like this. Guys, be water, my friends. I'll see you soon, all right?